everyone, my name is Van Lady Katie. Welcome to my next episode where I will be installing the subfloor. I have already measured and cut the pieces that I need. They're here kind of leaning against the wall. I have a heater going, trying to get them warmed up so they're dry and ready to glue down. I will be using pressure treated lumber. This is 1 inch wide. I found a 1 inch by 4 inch lumber finally after a lot of searching different stores in the area, but I ripped it all in half with a circular saw. I don't have a table saw right now, but luckily I didn't need super straight cuts because this lumber will be laying broadside down on the ground, which means that none of my lines really matter, just that I have two fairly equal size pieces. I decided to use pressure treated lumber because it's already been mold proofed, waterproofed, and protected against the elements. Just in case, sometimes you have spills on the floor and stuff can soak through. So just want to be sure that I'm not having any mold issues later down the line. When everything's built on top of it, it'll be much more difficult to manage. So I'm going to be cleaning this floor really well. It's super dusty and dirty right now, but that's okay. And after I clean it, I will start gluing these all down with construction adhesive. It's going to need about 24 hours to cure before I can move on the next step of insulating and then adding the plywood on top. So it's quite the process for a somewhat small area. And a little side note is I have been affectionately calling the van Bluey. I have 3 wonderful nieces who love that Australian animated show. It's a very cute show, and I really think Bluey the dog would be happy to have an adventure mobile named after her. So that's what I'm calling her. Bluey, here we go. Time to get a floor, Bluey. Okay, I have finished the joists and insulation for underneath the subfloor. This process took a long time. As I'm framing it out, I'm trying to save vertical space, so I'm putting all of the joists on the lowest point of the floor, which means that I can't have as many cross beams because then it would go across all the ridges of the floor, making it taller than the rest. So I end up with just a lot of joists going long ways and only 2 crossways supports. So then I was feeling paranoid that the floor would be weak in spots, so I kept adding more and more joists going lengthwise. Ended up building it much like a deck instead of, a grid, I guess. So it's slightly unconventional the way I did it, but it's done now, so it's staying that way. Since I made so many smaller areas for insulation, the whole insulating process took a long time. I was cutting long narrow strips of the styrofoam insulation, and then I had to tape over every single wooden joist, so the taping took forever. I took a break halfway and I was like, do I really need to do this? How important is this? So I kept researching it some more, and I do think that having the full metal foil over the whole top is important for vapor barrier. So this will prevent, when the wood is on top, it will prevent the moisture from going between the 2 sets of wood from the joist to the subfloor. So yeah, it's supposed to prevent moisture from penetrating the floor from either direction. So I finished it, had to go back to the store, get more tape, and just kept going, and finally it's done. I did get a few little foil slice type cuts that are much like a paper cut. Probably should have worn gloves, but it's sticky tape, so what are you supposed to do? The subfloor sucked way more than building the walls, so subfloor sucks more. I have some other choice words for this process. I'm trying to keep my channel family friendly, so I won't go there. yeah, I'm glad it's done. I'm ready to put the ply on top and keep cruising along. I did leave a little area without any wood for where the shower drain's gonna go over there, and then a little area for where the sink drain will go. Both of those are gonna go through the van floor and underneath to the gray water tank underneath the van. So yeah, I tried to think ahead for some things and I'm gonna just hope it works out. I am gonna put the plywood on now. I'll show you a little trick for measuring and fitting the plywood in around all these curves we have going. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make a template for the plywood cut that we're gonna make. We need to make the plywood fit in this awkwardly shaped curved recess of the floor. So we're gonna do that by making a stencil. First you lay some plywood down so you have a hard surface to draw on, and then I laid down just this thick brown construction paper. I have it just taped down with painter's tape. I'm going to use this Sharpie on a stick and make an outline here for where my floor is going to go. So you want to make sure that you keep this stick perpendicular to the area at all times. Changing the angle will change the line. So we'll just start at the end here. Looking pretty good. Those lines are good. This, you can see I got a little bit of a gap here, and I think that's because of the width of the stick I'm using, to be honest. But actually it looks pretty good. I could do a little bit more shaping of this. All right, well, I think I'm gonna transfer that onto plywood and make some adjustments there in that corner. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Well, I have the outline traced here on the plywood. I'm just gonna cut it out with a jigsaw and really hope it fits. Okay, moment of truth. It's looking pretty good so far. Just gonna slide it in. I need 2 hands for this. And it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. It's not perfect like I was hoping, but I think that's as good as it can be now. And I'm good with it. There's some gaps, but I'll have flooring and you know, built-ins and stuff, so I don't think that's gonna be a big deal. All right, carry on. I'm gonna cut this end off just by tracing from below and lay it in place. All right, here it is. First piece subfloor in. Yeah, it's good. I can't just screw it down right away. Of course, I have to sand it and add some waterproofing. done. It took way too long. Long process, backbreaking. I am ready to be doing a job where I'm standing instead of kneeling. So excited for that. I made a rookie error when cutting my plywood and had to go back to the store for another piece so I could fix it. I don't know what happened between my planning brain and my doing brain, but they did not collaborate and I was just cutting plywood all willy-nilly. But anyways, $60 down the drain, but I fixed it and it looks great, and I'm very happy that I finally have a floor in, ready to keep going. I guess I could live in it now. Well, I'll just keep going. Stay tuned next time for pre-wiring for electric.